Today I'm going to show you how I edited this photo using Lightroom. So let's get into it. First off, let's go into the Adjustments tab, and let's bring up the exposure a little bit, as well as bringing down the highlights and bringing up the shadows just a little bit. Now let's bring down the blacks just a tad to get a little bit more contrast, and let's do the same with the whites. Actually, let's bring the whites up a little bit. Now I think the whole thing's a little overexposed now, so let's bring down the exposure. That looks pretty good. Let's see without the color grade and with the color grade. Just brightening it up and adding a little bit of the contrast. Next, let's go into the color tab right below it, and maybe let's change our color temperature a little bit. Now let's bring up the saturation as well. No, let's bring it down. We could go black and white with this photo, but I don't really want to do that. I do think that is a cool look though, so maybe we could export this just as black and white, but let's do color for now. Okay, let's go into color wheels, and let's bring our midtones towards the blue. That looks pretty cool. And then let's bring our highlights towards the yellow just a little bit. That's that look. And let's see what happens to our shadows. Maybe if we bring it towards like a light blue. No, maybe like an orange. That looks neat. Let's see before and after. Photo is just a little bit dark now, so maybe just bring up the exposure just a tiny bit. And let's play around with the curves really quick. So maybe just bring up the highs, bring up the lows a little bit. And let's go into the red curve. Maybe let's bring that down just a tiny bit. And then the green and magenta. It's a little bit green, I think. With the whites, need to come down a little bit. Maybe our contrast could go up a tiny bit as well. Maybe our exposure down just a little bit. Okay, let's see what curves affected it. Changed it a little bit. Okay. I feel like this photo is just a little bit not quite the right angle. So let's change this for 9:16 and just frame it up just right. Okay. Maybe just move it over just a little bit more. That looks pretty cool. Now I feel like the whole thing's going a little bit purple now, so maybe let's bring this up just a tiny bit towards green. That looks pretty cool. Then let's go down to color mixer and see what our hues can do. Maybe let's bring, no, red doesn't really do anything. Let's see what orange does. There we go. Let's bring orange and yellow down just a tiny bit, like there. Maybe bring purple down a little bit, and let's go into the midtones. That gives an interesting look when you boost the shadows, but probably not quite enough contrast. So maybe let's boost it just a tiny bit. I'd say that that looks pretty good. Let's go down to the effects real quick and see if we can maybe add a little bit of grain to it. That's with no grain right now. I shot this with the Canon R7 at ISO 200 at f6.3. So I definitely had enough light. I shot this at 1/60th of a second for some reason. It looks pretty sharp. Probably should have shot it maybe a little bit higher than that, but that's okay. Let's go into effects and maybe just add a little bit of grain to the image. It's so clean though. More? I think I'm not gonna add grain because I love how clean this photo is, and I'm okay with that look. That looks cool. So I added some dehazing, and that looks pretty good to me. Let's go through the effects and see what changes affect the image. So this is without the light effects, and then this is with. This is without the curves and with. This is without color and with. This is without the color grading and with. And then this is without the effects and with the effects. So that's it for the video. This is the before and after for the photo. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. That would help out a lot. And if you want to support the channel directly, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter or channel member. If you decide to do so, you get access to all these videos a week early and some other exclusive benefits. So consider doing that. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to purchase any of the gear that we use on the channel, check out the links below, and I'll see you in the next one.